What's up guys, Meganite Gaming here, hope you're all doing really well. So today's video, I'm going to go through, it's going to be another one of an informative one rather than a gameplay one. But what we're going to do today is how to get out of the Rocket League that you're stuck in. So we're going to run all the way through each league. We're going to go bronze, all the way up to sort of champ 3 level. Unfortunately, I'm not grand champ, champ 3 is my highest rank. I've been champ 3 div 3, so I've been pretty close to grand champ, but I can't tell you how to get to grand champ because unfortunately I've not been there yet, so I can't really tell you how to get there. I will tell you how I've got sort of higher up in champ, so once we've done diamond to champ, after that I'll tell you how I've gone from sort of champ 1 to champ 3, but like I say, obviously I can't tell you how to work on grand champ just yet. But without further ado, let's get into it and I'll show you how to work your way up from bronze to silver. Okay, so the first thing I'd recommend for a bronze player, the biggest thing you need to do in this league is just focus on your basics. So focus on hitting the ball. You know, a lot of the times in bronze you'll see a lot of whiffs, a lot of people just missing the ball entirely, and that's fine. You know, you're new to the game, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but one of the biggest things you want to practice on is hitting the ball, especially when it's coming at pace. So what I'd recommend is going to free play, going to training packs, and just practice just hitting the ball, getting a solid contact on the ball. You know, especially in those leagues, that it's an absolutely huge feature. And whether it's going forward or defending, if you can get a clean contact on the ball, it'll do a lot for your team. Next thing I'd probably recommend is try defending a lot more. You know, it's a lot more sort of flashy and glamorous going for the goals and getting all the goals for your team, but if you really want to get out of these leagues, you need to be able to defend first and then score. If you don't concede a goal, you're going to win the game. That's the way to look at it. So make sure you try and put a priority in defending first. Obviously it might be a case where it's going to be tricky for you to attack, but you know, try and put that priority on defending if you want to get out of your league, and that goes for a lot of leagues, to be fair. It's not just bronze. Like, you know, if you're just attacking and just letting your teammate defend all the time, it's got to put pressure on them, especially in the lower leagues where you know, your teammate probably won't hit the ball every time. Further, probably say, you know, if you can get a big clearance on a ball as well, that's huge. Obviously that's similar to the first one in terms of just hitting the ball, getting a big hit on it. When you're getting a big clear, if you can, you know, flip into the ball at the right time. If you time your flip right, you get more power on the ball, whereas if you just sort of stab it, one, it's just going to dink up in the air, but two, it's going to get a lot less power than if you absolutely bang it downfield. So yeah, that's definitely something I'd suggest. And for bronze, I would absolutely do exactly what I'm doing now. So just mess around in free play training. This goes for pretty much every league. Free play training is so useful. I'm obviously, you know, just showing off champ 3. I still go in free play training all the time, because it gets used to, you know, mechanics of the car. It gives you time on the ball. It's just a really effective league, a really effective place to sort of work on your skills, work on your mechanics, and you can try different things as well. You know, you can try different things with your car. You know, you can experiment a little bit, and that's a good thing about Rocket League. There's so many different things you can do. But in free play training, it's going to give you that time on the ball, so you can get used to just hitting it every time. And once you start to sort of iron out those sort of imperfections in your game, the whiffs, you know, you will start to improve, and you won't be stuck in bronze for very long if you do that. So silver, in all honesty, is quite a similar league to bronze. It's just slightly better. So in terms of the tips, again, I'd recommend, you know, try and focus on defending a bit more if you can. The big things in the lower leagues, being honest, bronze all the way up to plat and even diamond with certain players, a lot of players are just tempted to just chase the ball all the time. I understand why, obviously, part of the game, you want to be on the ball, you want to be doing things, but if you want to win and rank up, you need to have trust in your teammates, but also you need to be able to position yourself right. And if you're just chasing the ball all the time, you get tackled by the other team, you're gonna be in a bad spot if both you and your teammate are following the ball around. So like I said, obviously try and put that priority on defending. Another thing you might want to do in silver as well is you should start to have a better idea of when to go for what kind of hit. So there is going to be certain times where you don't want to flip into the ball, you just want to get a little scoop on it, bang it up. Whereas there's going to be other times where you want to, absolutely boom it. In silver, you should start to get a little bit of an idea of which one of these is going to serve you best. You maybe want to start to learn to fly a little bit, but I'd say until gold, that's not really a huge thing. You can probably get out of silver if you grab the game strong enough. So you want to make sure you're defending well, not chase the ball. Obviously you're not going to be perfect at rotating in silver, but you don't want to just be following the ball all the time. Try and sort of space yourself out from your teammate a little bit, and do it that way. Also, I'd say in silver, try not to waste your boost as much. Obviously, your boost management's not going to be perfect, but realise that flipping can get you up to supersonic. Once you are going supersonic in a straight line, you don't have to keep boosting. As long as you keep accelerating, you're going to keep that speed. So there's no point in just boosting towards the ball all the time, just because you're just gonna waste a lot of your boost, and you're gonna be put in a bit of a bad spot, and then you're gonna struggle to get back. But like I say, silver is quite similar to bronze in terms of if you just defend well, give your teammate a little bit of space. You don't want to be on top of each other all the time. And again, I'll be honest with you, I do see this in the higher leagues as well. But say if you're attacking the goal there that we're looking at, your teammate's in this corner here, you don't want to be barreling down into this corner and being there with him. Because if you lose out on the ball there, and you're here and your teammate's here, even if you're playing threes, you're leaving your teammate in a 3 versus 1. If you're playing twos, you're basically giving the other team an open goal. When, you just don't need to do it. You need to give your teammate a bit of space. If your teammate does lose the ball in that same corner over there, and you're back here, it's not an issue. You're back there, he can rotate back. Don't jump into your challenge. But yeah, you're not going to be sort of caught out then. Whereas if you go barreling into that corner, say a defender smashes the ball up against this wall here, you're going to be in a bad spot then, because you're going to be pulled out of position. Your teammate's gone into that corner with the ball because you chased it a little bit. You're just making your team have a much worse position to deal with. Okay, so in gold, this is where things start getting a little bit harder as a player. There's a few things you want to work on in gold. So the first thing I'd say, this is where you want to start being able to rotate properly, or at least get a basic idea of how to rotate. Particularly, if you think you're in twos, so if you're playing in twos, if your teammate's forward, don't be pushing up really high with them. You want to be. You can maybe push up, so if they've got the ball out wide, push up to here. But as soon as you see that ball's not coming to you, you want to be getting straight back, getting in defensive position, and don't just challenge the attackers straight away. Slow them down. You want to sort of shadow the ball away from them. Give your other teammate time to get back, get a bit of boost, and then challenge. You don't just want to fly in, but like I said, this is the point where you want to start maybe being able to rotate properly if you want to get into plat. You're not going to be perfect at it by any means. You know, even a lot of plats aren't perfect at rotating. But yeah, you want to start being able to get the basic fundamentals of rotating right. There's lots of videos on YouTube as well of how to rotate effectively. One thing I would recommend as well is always try and rotate towards your back post. So if the ball's over that side, you want to rotate towards this post. Obviously not as close as that, but you don't want to be getting in the way of the ball, because that's where you're going to get, unless you can make a fair challenge on the ball, you're just going to end up getting in the way of your teammate. You might end up knocking it past him. If you can, rotate to the back post, swing around, get your boost, get back in position. Another big thing in gold is you want to get used to maybe going up the walls. So by all means I'm not saying go for air dribbles, anything like that. I do have an air dribble tutorial if you want to watch that, but you just want to get used to that. If the ball's on the walls, you want to be able to at least get a flip and knock it off of there. So ball goes up the wall, just flip away, try and get a big hit away from your goal, and if you can, ideally towards the opposition's goal. Again, you're not going to be perfect off the walls at this stage, and that's absolutely fine. But just try and get some big hits. Like I said, obviously if you can hit them towards goal, excellent. But get comfortable with driving up the walls. In the higher leagues, you're going to have to do this a lot more anyway. So yeah, if you can get used to just going off the walls, getting a few big hits, that should be fine. Obviously, if you do learn to do something like air dribble, you're going to probably bully people in that league, but really, you're not expected to be able to do that in goal. Just if you can get big hits off the wall, get the ball out of a dangerous position, it's going to really help you out there. The sort of last main thing I would recommend in the goal division as well is you need to start being able to fly a little bit. Don't have to be perfect, don't have to be a fast aerial, but if you can get up and fly accurately, that's huge. So just to start with, if you go on this one's the pro aerial training. You don't even necessarily have to do this one, but just get used to jumping up, flying, and hitting the ball. If you can hit it accurately, brilliantly, but just hitting the ball at this stage in the air is huge. Most people in this league aren't going to be able to aerial very well. Like those last two, I've just single jumped. You don't even need to be able to double jump. Obviously, if you can double jump, by all means go for it. But it's more a case of just being able to hit the ball. If you can get up defensively and beat the attackers to the ball, you're laughing. They're going to struggle. You're going to get so many clearances that lead to chances for you. So just spend a bit of time. I probably won't go for the all-star one just yet. The pro one's sufficient. It does what it needs to in terms of giving you practice at going up for a ball. Again, I'm adding twists in here. That's not something you need to do. But just get used to them, especially these ones where it's sort of a moving target. Like I say, you don't have to worry about hitting them on the goal. Just focus on hitting the ball, hitting it accurately. Like I say, not accurately as in hitting it towards the net, but accurately as in getting your car up there, making sure you hit it. Because if you can get these defensive clearances done in the air, it's going to mean that your opponents get so many less chances, and also it's going to give you a few chances as well. So your accuracy might not be perfect at going up for the ball every time, but if that gets you even a goal every 2 games, that could be huge for your ranking up. Those tight games where you just need one bit of magic, being able to aerial in those leagues will pay itself off. So like I said, just focus on getting up. You can try and double jump, and I'd say the earlier you learn that the better, but you don't have to. I'm pretty sure in this one, if you just single aerial and fly up, yeah, you see you're fine there if you just single aerial. But yeah, that's the last big thing I'd recommend for gold. If you can start to fly properly and accurately, you know, you'll be in a really good spot to rank up. So definitely give that some work. The time you spend in these sort of trainings is important. Obviously, I appreciate it's a lot more fun sort of going and playing the games. You know, that's what you probably want to be doing. But if you want to rank up effectively, you need to put time into these training packs, and you know, even your free training, just be able to get used to the mechanics of the car, learn to do things like flying properly. Okay, so Plat is where you start to see big differences in the leagues, from one side to the other. So the difference between a Plat 1 and a Plat 3 is normally quite big, to be honest with you. A Plat 3 normally has quite a few more mechanics pinned down. This is where you want to start learning, you know, different mechanics, maybe a bit more, a bit quicker. I'd say the main things you want to focus on, really, you want the speed of your game to start increasing here. So use things like your flips to get around the pitch faster. You want to maybe start being a little bit more sensible with your boost. But you want your overall speed of play to be increasing a little bit. Again, you don't need to be like squishy muffins, you know, absolutely racing around the map. But just, you want your overall speed of play to be quicker. You also want to start being a bit more aware of your teammates here as well. Again, I understand how frustrating it is playing with teammates, especially when you feel you're better than the rank you are. But usually teammates in Platinum, they've got there for a reason. They're not going to be the perfect player, they're not going to score every chance they get, but they are going to have a basic knowledge of how to play the game, really. So give your teammates space, have a bit of trust in them. Try your hardest not to get wound up with them. I know that's hard. I still get wound up with my teammates in Champ sometimes, so I know it's not an easy thing to do. But yeah, try and have a bit of faith. Try and position yourself sort of around where your teammates are. This is where you want your rotation to start being a little bit more effective as well. If you want to get from Platinum to Diamond, you know, you really need to you really need to focus on your rotations being, again, not perfect, but a lot better. You know, if you're attacking with a ball, you know, you realise that you're not going to get to it, you're low on boost, rotate back, grab your boost, let your teammate go, and sit behind your teammate. You want to always have this sort of fluidity. Even if you've got players on your team who are better at attacking and players who are better at defending, you still want that fluidity, because otherwise you're just going to give the opponents too much space, and it's going to be just too easy for them to attack you. And you know, I don't care how good you are at defending, there's only so many bangers that you can keep saving. And especially if you're playing against people of the same league as you, you're just not going to be able to sort of sit and soak up pressure for 5 minutes unless you're super good at defending. And if you can sit and soak up pressure for 5 minutes and you never concede, well, really you should be in a higher league, because if you're not conceding, you're going to win the game. This is a bit of a basic one, but you just need to try and sort of practice on things you know you're weak at. So if you know you're bad at defending, maybe have a look at some defensive training packs. Even look at some of the custom ones. You know, there's loads of great custom goalie training packs. So you don't necessarily have to do them all. Like defensive backboard reads, you probably don't need to be that good on the backboard, in all honesty, if you're wanting to go from Platinum to Diamond. If you can be, brilliant. You know, by all means, if you can get good at these things for the league above what you are, absolutely do it. But really what you want to focus on is just positioning right. And in Platinum you want to start trying to be a little bit more of a complete player. So in the lower leagues, like say, you're going to get people, I like, for example, I was always much better at striking than I was at defending, but I did learn to get better at defending, and that's from practicing games, also from training packs. Obviously free play is great for, you know, ball control, attacking. It's a little bit harder for defending, but that's where, you know, the set up training goalie packs, the custom training packs, that's where they can come in quite handy. Obviously similar to sort of rotation, you want your positioning to be a lot better. So you just want to have a basic knowledge of where you want to be. So when you're attacking, don't just go straight for the ball. Try and assume where the ball's going to be. You know, so if a defender's going across his own backboard with the ball, don't just jump up and challenge him on the wall. Try and think, where's he going to hit this? And don't go exactly where you think he's going to hit it. Give yourself a bit of room. So if you think he's going to hit it towards this boost pad, if he's on his back wall there near where the ball is, give it a little bit of room. If he's going to hit it over there, if he does, great, you can boost towards it. If he hits it a bit further or he gets a really good clearance, it means you can turn and you can get back a lot quicker. You know, that's just an example. Your defensive positioning, you want to be better. You just want your overall positioning and game sense to start getting a lot better here. So that's where practice will help. You know, the more hours you put into the game, it's going to be huge. So just that's the big thing you want to do. So in Platinum we've got our positioning, speed, rotation. I'd say the last big thing if you want to go from Platinum to Diamond is consistency. Now there's a lot of players you'll see in Platinum, to be honest with you, who you look at them and think, how are they not a Diamond player? And the reason they're not, they might be able to do magical things like, you know, do ceiling shots and crazy air dribbles and things like that, and you do see it in Platinum. I've got to say, it's very strange, but they'll be able to do things like that, but they're just super inconsistent. And it's another thing where they might be really good at all that mechanical stuff, but they can't defend at all. And you know, if they just want to play the game for that reason and have a bit of fun and they're not so bothered about ranking up, fair enough. But the reason why these mechanical gods in Platinum aren't in a higher league is because they're too inconsistent to get there. So like I say, obviously they can do all this mechanical stuff. I've seen some players in Plat who probably mechanically are as good as me, maybe even better, and I would champ 3. But the problem is the consistency isn't there. They don't work hard at the defending as well as the sort of attacking and ball control. And that's why they're sort of not never going to get out of this league, but it's going to take them a long time to get out of this league because just they don't have the consistency there. And you're always going to hear people saying consistency is how you get out of every league, and I know it's a little bit boring to hear, but the reason everybody says it is because it is true. You know, if you're inconsistent and you lose every other game, you're just going to stay in the same league, you're never going to get out of it. Whereas if you can start to be a little bit more consistent and win 2 games out of 3, that's where you're going to start to climb the league a lot faster and do a lot better. Okay, so Diamond to Champ. This is where things start to get a little bit more tricky. Similar to Platinum as well, there is a huge difference between a Diamond 1 player and a Diamond 3 player. You will see big differences in this league if you come up against, even if you come in Diamond 1, you know, you've just got up there and you come up against a Diamond 2, you're probably going to see big differences. But let's run through, you know, what I'd recommend. First and foremost, I know we said positioning in Platinum. In Diamond, you want your positioning to be pretty much bang on if you're wanting to get a champ. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect every time, but you want to always try and be in the right spot. So if you've got a shot coming in, you know, you want to be at that place on the net where really you're going to be in the right spot to get up and defend it. If you can try and keep your momentum going as well, just makes it a lot easier to save. But yeah, you really want to sort of work on that position and get that position absolutely right if you want to start looking at getting into the champion divisions. So obviously you can't help what your team's rotation is like, unless you do play as part of an actual team. But as an overall, you want your team rotation to be tighter, better. So as soon as you see someone coming back, say you're sat defending here, you see someone coming back on the right hand side of your screen, he's going back for boost, that's when you want to push out and attack. Don't do it too quickly, because if he's sort of stuck out there getting boost, you've pushed for the ball and you get knocked over, you're that defender's going to have a really tough chance. It's going to be really tough for that defender to get back and save the ball. But you want to get the timing of that rotation sort of absolutely right. Another really big one for Diamond, even in Champ, really. If you don't have boost, let me turn unlimited boost in free play off. So let's say you're coming back, you don't have time to go for boost. These boost pads are so important. You know, yes, one of them only picks up 12 boosts, but if you can sort of swing back and pick up 3 or 4 of those on the way round, that's going to put you in a much better spot than having to push really far out wide, grab the big boost, and then be stuffed, basically, be in a bad position. So make sure you make use of the boost pads as well. In Diamond, not all the time, but again, if you can sort of realise I can get a bump here, if you can get a good bump, a good demo, by all means go for that. Some people get mad. I'll be honest, when I get demoed a lot, I kind of rage about it, but deep down I know it's part of the game. And if you're in a position where you've got a teammate coming through the ball, but you're pushed forward, if you can get a bump on that last defender, your teammate's got an open goal. And you know, I've got a friend I play twos with quite a lot. Me and him have scored so many goals, particularly when we were running through the Diamond Leagues, by doing that. If you can sort of bump last defender out of the way, you know, like I say, it's a free goal. So you need to do that. In Diamond as well, you want to start focusing on your fast aerials as well, so getting your double jumps, getting up to the ball super quickly. You don't even have to get your car rotations really good. I didn't really learn to rotate my car well until I was probably Champ 1, in all honesty. But if you can get up to the ball quickly and get a big hit on it, that's absolutely massive. Also, you want your game approach to be better as well. So similar to before, if your teammate's got the ball out wide and you're sort of in rotation, so if you're playing twos and you're back here, as soon as that ball comes across, you want to make a split-second decision in your mind. So get rid of all the hesitation. You hesitate, it's just going to put you in a bad spot. You need to think, and be honest with yourself as well. You need to think, can I get this ball? And this is where being a good rocket player really comes in, because if you can, it is about being honest with yourself. If you think, if the ball's coming in and you think, oh, I could maybe get that, don't go for it. It's just not worth the risk, particularly in twos. In threes, if you're second in rotation, by all means give it a go. But in twos, if you're the last man back and you're not 100% sure you can hit that ball, don't risk it. Because if you miss, or if you smash the ball off the backboard, particularly if you smash the ball off the backboard, their defenders are coming out, your other teammate's out there, or he's come across there because he's flipped across, you're up in the air, they've got an open goal, a free goal to them. Be honest with yourself. That's a huge thing, because as much as you think, yeah, there's a chance we could get a goal here, there's also an equally or bigger chance that you could concede. And really, if you're defending well and you're not conceding, that's where you're going to win more games. You know, if you concede 5-6 goals in a game, chances are you're going to lose. If you concede 0 or 1, there's a good chance you're probably going to win. So, like I said, being honest with yourself is huge in Diamond. On that, you know, you got to think, if I miss this shot, what kind of position am I going to put my teammates in? If your teammates come across this back wall, put a cross in there, and he just landed like that, there's no way that he's going to be able to get back to the goal by the time they put a counter-attack together, particularly in Diamond. You know, Diamond players, they start to be a little bit better at the game, and they're going to be able to counter-attack pretty quickly. Not absolutely, you know, lightning quick, but quicker than you can recover and get back anyway. Try not to think about the perfect shot every time as well. So if you're in a position where you can sort of dribble the ball out, and you have the confidence to do that, do it. You know, ground dribbling, it's not a huge thing that you sort of need to pick up at any particular stage. I'd say the earlier the better. You know, probably if you can pick it up in maybe gold stage, you know, just a general ball dribbling. You don't have to be perfect at it. You know, even people in sort of champ level aren't perfect at ground dribbling all the time. But if you can just dribble the ball on the ground, learn to sort of control it and manipulate the ball where you want it to go, that's big. But in Diamond, if you can sort of get that control on the ball, you can start to put pressure on the defenders by, you know, getting it on top of your car, flicking it over them, flicking it to a teammate even. Because that's another thing you want to do in Diamond as well, you know. It becomes a lot more important in Champ, but if you can start getting a pass to a teammate, getting an effective pass, if you've got a teammate that can finish, it's pretty much a free goal. Because passing plays are so hard to defend against. It puts the defender in a really bad spot because they either need to charge out and block the pass as quickly as possible, but it really gives them a decision to make because the quality of your pass is going to dictate what they can do, and it's hard for them to make a decision in that short amount of time. Again, really important in Diamond, and I'd say Diamond and Plat are actually some of the worst ball chasing leagues at times. Because you get a lot of Diamond players who think they are good enough to be in Champ, especially when they are sort of Diamond 3. A lot of Diamond 3s think, you know, I'm a Champ level player, why am I still in Diamond 3? And they start to get very tilted, very annoyed that they're still remaining in Diamond. And that's when they start to chase and almost try too hard. If you've got a teammate like that, as much as it's frustrating, just try and defend. Let them do their thing. Try and play around your teammates. A big thing about climbing up the higher leagues is adaptability. So it's about being able to play with teammates who might not potentially suit your style of play, but you need to learn to play with them anyway. So if you've got a teammate who's super chasey, goes down for everything, what you want to do is maybe back off a little bit, you defend a bit more that game. If a chance presents itself, by all means go for it. Fingers crossed they'll learn that maybe they need to go back at certain times. But yeah, you want to be able to adapt, learn how to play with your teammates. You want to start sort of learning working on recoveries as well. So when you go up for a big aerial, for example, you know, try and, rather than landing like that and being in a bad spot and having it go away, if you go up for the big aerial and land with your wheels down on the wall, it's so much quicker getting off it. Again, that's something you don't need to be perfect at in this league, but if you can start to get a little bit better at it now, it's going to really pay off for you when you do get into Champ and get there, yeah. Another thing you want to start doing in Diamond is look at working on the custom training packs a little bit more as well. So I think this one is Lefemire's Redirects pack. You know, just general things like this are useful to work on. So I'll be fully honest with you, I can't get ones like this first time. That would have been funny if I did, but yeah, I can't get ones like this first time, but that's why you train on them, and you don't want anything that's going to be super easy for you, because if you can just walk in, get 15 shots out of 15 first try, you're not really learning anything, you already know how to do that. Again, you know, a lot of improving at things, and I've said this already this video, but it's about doing things that you're not perfect at and honing that skill. So you want to work on just these general things. This is Diamond all the way through to Champ, and as far as I'm aware, even Grand Champ really. Obviously, again, I can't really comment on Grand Champ because I'm not there, but obviously you want to work on things that you're not perfect at and just hone those skills as much as you can. So, like, you know, look at that one, I've missed that one by a mile, and it's fine, you know, you're not going to be perfect at things, but you do these training packs that give you sort of scenarios that you might not get every game, but they will come up, and if you've worked on it 20 times in a training pack, you're going to have a better idea of what to do, like if you've never worked on it in your life and you just don't know what to do. So, you know, race through these training packs by all means, but put time into them, and don't just give it one try and think, right, if I don't get it I'm moving on. Really keep trying it until you get how to do it. you know, this isn't the first time I've done this training part. It's the first time I've done it in a while. But even if you did manage to get every shot, not first time, but you did manage to get every shot, that doesn't mean you never have to do it again. Just keep honing that skill and keep working on it until really you can get it first time every time. And you know, you will see your gameplay improve so much. And that's not just for the attacking ones. Obviously this is a redirect one. But if you do it for the, you know, the defensive ones as well, particularly, you know, the backboard defending ones when you get to the higher levels, it will really pay off for you. Okay, so finally for champ players, unfortunately I can't say how to get into Grand Champ. Like I said, I have been close. I've been Champ 3, Div 3 this season as my highest. Really, again in Champ, you know, a Champ 1 versus a Champ 3, the difference between Champ 2 and Champ 3, if I'm being honest with you, is absolutely massive. The majority of the time. Champ really is where you want to learn at getting better at certain mechanics though. So things like, you know, double touches are super useful. You know, if you can start to get effective at double touches all the time, they will create you a lot of goals. To counter that as well, you see a lot of people, particularly in the higher champs, your Champ 2, your Champ 3, a lot of people get better at backboard defending as well. And that's a big part of the defensive game. You know, if a ball's going up in the air, if you're on the backboard, you can get rid of it quite quickly. So there is counters, but you know, for things like your double touches, your backboard defence is huge. In the higher levels of Champ, your overall game speed needs to be absolutely rapid as well. You need to be super quick. So all the time you can't be sort of just wandering back. You know, if you have an attack, you think, oh, I'll go grab this boost here, I've got done, and then I'll get back. You need to be so quick all the time. And a huge thing as well is concentration. You know, in your platinums, your diamonds, you can sort of not have 100% concentration whilst you're playing. When you start to get to the higher champ levels, you need to be super concentrated for the full 5 minutes, and overtime if it's needed, because that is massive. Another thing you want to work on is things like that are just going to generally increase the speed of your game. So recently I've been working on wave dashes quite a lot. You know, if you can wave dash all the way back to your goal, it can be, you know, super quick, rather than, obviously, if you've got no boost and you're driving back. I mean, look at how much slower that is than wave dashing across the goal. So yeah, if we compare a normal drive across, this is just an example. Obviously, realistically, we're picking up boost, but if you look at how slow that drive across the pitch is, okay, let's compare it with stringing a few wave dashes together. Like, if you look at how much quicker that was to get back compared to the, you know, the just dribbling. Obviously, you don't need to do that many. I went quite far out wide there. You know, puts you in a position where you can maybe pick up the boost or actually get back to the net if needs be. But things like wave dashing is huge. I'll be honest with you, like I say, even as a Champ 3, things like ceiling shots, I've not really mastered ceiling shots just yet. But you can work on different skills, so things like flip resets can be useful, but again, if I'm being honest, it's super rare that you get the time in a higher champ to go for a flip reset. You see pros go for it, and it shows you how good the pros actually are, that they have the time to do that, particularly ones off the ground. You know, ones off the wall, fair enough, sometimes, you know, if you catch them in a spot where they're low boost, it can be, you know, useful, but off the ground, it's so rare, because defenders are up so quickly towards you. If you flick it up, it just makes it really tricky. Like I said, obviously I can't give you tips on how to get into Grand Champ because I've never been there, and that'd be a bit, you know, a bit backwards and a bit wrong of me to tell you how to do that. Also, I don't know, because, you know, if I knew, I'd get there myself. But yeah, hopefully that's been a bit of a, you know, comprehensive guide for you. Um, a big thing about it is always being honest with yourself, knowing there's places you can improve. So you see a lot of people saying the platinum with, you know, Grand Champ mechanics. Maybe that is true, but if you're a platinum with Grand Champ mechanics, that means your overall game sense is dreadful. Sorry to say, you know, if you're platinum with mechanics like a Grand Champ, your overall game sense just needs to improve. You know, if you want to go through the leagues, you know, if you're happy being stuck in plat, fair enough. You keep working on your mechanics, don't work on your overall game sense. That's fine. But if you're playing ranked Rocket League, you know, you want to get to the higher ranks, and you truly believe that you do have those high level mechanics, that's telling you a big part of your game you need to improve is your overall positioning, your overall game sense. And like I say, you know, not just for Rocket League but with anything in life, if you want to improve at something, you need to be honest with yourself in these are the areas where I need to improve. So hopefully this is, you know, giving you a bit of an insight. Like I say, obviously sorry I can't give you it all the way up to Grand Champ. Fingers crossed, you know, in a few months' time I might be able to give you that champ to Grand Champ jump. But yeah, thank you for watching this video today. You know, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.